It was announced shortly before this episode of Raw that Angle would announce his opponent for said show on this week's Raw. They were in Chicago, the same city where 17 years ago on SmackDown, John Cena debuted, took Angle to his limit before falling short of victory in his debut. So it would have been as great of a time as any to announce John Cena as Kurt Angle's opponent at WrestleMania. And we know these two have a lot of respect for each other. John Cena was the one who inducted Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame a few years ago. We know they can work well together. I know Angle is in the twilight of his career. He's winding it down. Matches that would have been good 5-10 years ago are kind of like a shell of their former selves, in the sense that, or at least Angle is. The matches aren't really as good as they could be, considering the current state considering the current state that Angle is in, being so, at the end of his career. Really, this farewell tour should have taken place 5-6 years ago when they could have brought him back, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So Angle says, I've decided my opponent for WrestleMania. Only to find out, that it's Baron fucking Corbin. Yes, Kurt Angle in his last match ever at WrestleMania 35 will be facing former Raw General Manager Baron fucking Corbin, which I cannot stress to you how dumb that is. What a massive disappointment it was to hear that Kurt Angle is facing Baron fucking Corbin in his last match ever at WrestleMania. That match wasn't even worthy to be held on Raw a few months ago, let alone at WrestleMania. I thought that was a really poor choice, and the fans let him know it, too. The fans in the arena, the commentators even acknowledged it. Social media, I thought, was going to shut down for a little while, because people were so pissed that Baron Corbin was announced as Angle's opponent, and I give Angle a lot of props. I'm sure he wanted a higher profile opponent for Mania. I don't know why they made this out to be such a big deal. They should have just announced it from the get-go, because they got people's hopes up for nothing that it was Baron Corbin. Unless this is all a swerve, which I assume it's not. But this whole thing is just so stupid. So stupid. Of all the people to go with, from Samoa Joe to AJ Styles to John Cena, from someone like an NXT, a fucking Matt Riddle or whoever, or an EC3 who would really be given a great opportunity to shine in picking up a big victory over a retiring superstar, a retiring legend, a WWE Hall of Famer. Nope, let's just put him in there with Baron Corbin. And I assume Baron Corbin would win. Now, in any other circumstance, I would say, yeah, it's a fine idea to put him in there with a guy that can benefit from beating Kurt Angle in his last match ever. Baron Corbin would not benefit from any of this. He's already beaten Kurt Angle before one-on-one, the night after the Rumble, and it hardly did anything to change the perception of him being just a boring wrestler. So, again, I would hope that WWE heard that reaction on Monday's Raw. And even Angle's own wife had said something on Twitter on Monday about how underwhelming of a choice it was for Baron Corbin to be chosen, of all people, to face her husband in his last match ever at Mania. So I would hope that officials heard the reaction and are like, oh shit, they're probably going to poop on this match come WrestleMania. Let's switch it up before it's too late. They have 2 weeks worth of Raw left. They have this coming Monday and the Raw after that. So they have back-to-back Raws to switch out Corbin for someone better, a la John Cena. And some people are not the biggest Cena fans, but I think it would be a far better choice than Baron fucking Corbin. And no, that's not his name. I know I've said it a million times. I've said it like that for the last few minutes with that F-bomb intersplice between his first and last name, but that might as well be the new nickname, not the Lone Wolf or whatever the hell they're calling him nowadays, but Baron fucking Corbin, just because that's what I say every time he comes out nowadays in a segment that he should not be involved in. Because I like Baron Corbin, but the guy has just been an absolute chore to watch for so long. It's to the point where I just could not give two shits about his character in the slightest.